and she's going to blow them away. Galaxy Star draws away from them. Pike Magician.
Welcome to Racing Rewind. Our panel will review the Pine Metropolitan meeting of the week. They will look for the horses to follow, those to forgive, and possibly those to forget. If you have an opinion, send a text to 0427 789 571. 0427 789 571.
Yes, Racing Rewind. Matty French off the bench. How are you, Matt?
Morning, guys. Yeah, it's good to be here. Good to be in the studio here as well for the first time. So,
the new studio.
The new studio, yes.
GP.
Yeah, no, they've done a good job here.
Yeah, it looks good. What about you, Loch? How are you?
I'm very well, Marty.
Where's
Very
our colleague? Our brother at arms.
Injured.
Injured?
Not omitted. He has been a little on the edges of late, so it wasn't far off, but...
Just need to spell.
Yeah, just a little freshen up.
Freshen up.
Injured. Concussed.
Can you say what type of injury? Concussion?
Well, it's to do with his head anyway.
Righto. That's enough said.
The protocols, it's a touchy subject in 2024, Marty.
Yep. Let's head out to Belmont Park yesterday, the Swan Draft at Belmont Newmarket. And how did the track play and any action from the steward's room?
Absolutely no action from the steward's room at all. It was a very clean day, which was good. In terms of the way the track played, there were winners from all parts of the track there yesterday, which I thought was good. There was perhaps an inkling that the rail was perhaps a touch off, just ever so slightly, but we saw a horse like Ice Picnic win up along the rail in the last of the day. So for the most part, I thought we saw winners come from last. We saw winners settle outside the leader and win. I thought the track played really, really fair.
Okay, Matt, anything to add there?
No, that was a great summary. Shortest stewards report I've seen in a long time. And yeah, no, I thought you could see halfway through the day some of the jockeys just angling off the fence. I thought into the middle of the track, and that's probably just typical of Belmont as the horses cut through the grass throughout the day. Beautiful
weather, and of course the Dockers playing the early game against Geelong. How's the crowd out there, Locke?
Crowd was really good, actually. Getting out of Belmont Park, surprisingly, wasn't actually that bad. The footy and the races basically finished at the exact same time, and it was really easy to get out, which was great.
There you go.
And the crowd was good as well, because obviously a 2:30 game, there were punters out there that could watch the first 3 or 4 races before walking across to Optus, and that always creates a really nice atmosphere.
Okay, I've got a few texts we've got to get through, so I'll intertwine them with the replays. So Tassie crowd 6,000. Is Tassie team going to work? That is Wayne of Gero. What do you think about that, Locke? The Tassie team going to work? The Devils?
I think it will work. It has been so long sought after, a Tasmanian team.
Matty?
Yeah, why wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, why wouldn't it? I mean, they've been trying to get one down there for such a long time, as Locke said, but...
They're not going to play where they played yesterday, are they?
No.
It's a different stadium.
Yes.
New stadium, isn't it?
Yeah. Building a new one.
Yeah.
There were some West Coast Eagle fans down there too, flying the flag, wearing the Guernseys, and got up and about late.
Wow.
It was good to see.
Braver than me.
Where were you watching the final?
So I was actually in the media room. We're watching the race. It was the win of Macchiato, and we have the footy on at the same time. They cross the line. I see Oscar Allen kick his goal with a minute and a half left. So we're 7 points down. Between me walking out to do an interview with Summer Dixon, Scott did his interview with Steve Parnham. I walked back, not knowing what had occurred, and Taylor Cortland said to me, "You won." Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
It was pretty weird. Race number 1 was the National Pump and Energy Handicap. They were sprinting over the 1,000 metres.
Made in Mexico. Bonnie Lad off the bridle, back behind those, and back last of all is Under Influence. He's making all the running here on running on Made in Mexico. They went to the 300 and he raced 2 lengths in front. Songer looks the immediate danger though, coming down the outside. Bonnie Lad running on closer towards the rail, but Songer hits the front. Tycoon Harry and now Under Influence. Here's Under Influence from last, charging down the outside, goes up to Songer, grabs the lead, pricked its ears, and there's a deserved win by Under Influence. Under Influence from last beats Songer and Made in Mexico. Then Bonnie Lad.
Yeah, good win here for Under Influence. Was a good run last start behind Bonnie Lad, and was able to descend down the outside and get the money.
He was. We always talk about this horse on the program. His racing pattern is just not conducive to tipping him or backing him, but once again, courtesy of a very small field. We saw last start he was in a 6-horse field. Just missed from Bonnie Lad, but there yesterday in a very similar race shape. Small field of 6, back last, clearly a small field helps a horse like Under Influence. Was able to flash home late. I thought that was a really well-deserved win, as Darren touched upon. He hasn't been far away in the metro area on a Saturday throughout this preparation, but he thoroughly deserved that, and he's going very, very well for the Pierce brothers.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? And I think Made in Mexico as well will be the talking point out of this race into third. I thought it was a bit of a step up yesterday in grade, and I think they went along pretty quick out in front as well. So I think it really did set it up for horses like Under Influence and Songer, who was able to get that lovely trail box eating to just be able to run on over the top of. So I still thought they had nearly all of them had their chance in this race. Bonnie Ladd had splits, but just couldn't appear to show that same turn as acceleration that we saw in its previous two starts. And then we saw CJP just saying it raced in a bit of a flat manner as well.
And that was interesting because on the Sports Daily on Friday morning, Adam Durant actually suggested that Bonnie Ladd would be scratched, and it was his opinion that the horse wasn't a backup horse. He wouldn't be all that well suited off 7 days, and it was actually surprising come 8 o'clock yesterday morning to see Bonnie Ladd still in the field. So I think perhaps the team would be kicking themselves this morning that they in the end started him, because in the lead up to that race there yesterday, it appeared as though the inkling was that he's not a backup horse and he's better kept fresh.
Yep.
The second horse in Songer, if you backed him, I think you were on good terms with yourself at the top of the straight, but ultimately I just feel that this horse, he's far better suited when he can get off the speed and really ping late. He was ridden in a position he's not usually ridden in yesterday, and no knock on Holly's ride. It was a small field, and that's where she lobbed. But Songer, we've seen previously, we saw the start before when he could settle just off midfield in behind a speed that was set by Ginnivan. He launched late. He didn't show the same turn of foot there yesterday, but wouldn't be dropping off him. He's clearly going very well, and whilst the tracks have the sting out of them, he's certainly going to be a horse that you need to continue to follow.
Yeah, so if you're saying if it swapped runs, Songer and Under Influence, and he was having the last shot at Under Influence, Songer would win?
Maybe, but a horse like Under Influence simply cannot settle where Songer did, so it's hard to say, but I just think moving forward, even in a small field, I think the camp will be more mindful of not riding him too close, because we know on his day he has a really devastating turn of foot, and we probably didn't see that on its full display there yesterday.
Influenced by Caravaggio. How did the Pierce boys get hold of this horse? Do you know?
Through the sales, I think.
Online?
No. They've had it all the way along.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a half to the former Simon Miller sprinter. The name escapes me at the moment. Get back sprinter. I'll figure it out before the next race. Made in Mexico was the beaten favourite, led them up, had every possible chance. Really like him as a horse, but that was his first step up to Saturday company.
Yep.
And it was a big rise in grade. I thought the fact that he was only beaten a length was okay, albeit he was $1.85, and Tycoon Harry, our runner, we were really happy with his performance, beating 2.7 yesterday. Our belief is that he just doesn't really handle the wet track, so he'll have a short little freshen up and be set for the Ascot Carnival. Mm-hmm. And as Scott Embry messages me, Miss Kentucky.
I was just about to say Miss Kentucky, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay, race number 2 was the Ascot Racing Carnival. It's 12th of October, 1st of January. Tickets on sale now. Plate, and it was over the 1,000 metres.
Filly on top as they make the 400 turn. Over on the outside, neck, Keep It a Mystery, running second, a length and a half. Soldier of God, promising, about to come out around heels, followed by Naughty Torty, Think Like a Winner. Supernatural, Goldmaker, putting in their claims here on the extreme outside. At the 200, though, Keep It a Mystery got the head in front from Nicely Played. Goldmaker further back, but as they go to the 100 mark and Keep It a Mystery kicks away, Goldmaker finishing very strongly, but Keep It a Mystery gives Chris Parnham an early double. Keep It a Mystery beat Goldmaker, promising, I thought, third, just in front of Soldier of God.
Okay, tell us about this win for Keep It a Mystery for Lukey Fernie and the team.
Nice win. Really nice win. They made a few gear changes, namely the winkers coming off there yesterday. The horse just appeared to race far too keen first up, but with that small gear change and just a really patient ride from Chris Parnham, whilst the horse was outside the leader, he just idled there in the early stages of the race, and even Chris admitted post-race that him and the stablemate ridden by Pat Carberry, they just controlled the speed of the race, and from there they sprinted hard on the corner. A horse like Goldmaker was an enormous run, almost run of the day in my opinion, but just given the fact that they went so steady out in front, it was always going to be difficult to make up ground, and that showed in the finish, Matt.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I thought Goldmaker was a huge run yesterday. He broke sub 34 in the last 600, and like you said, I think Chris was pretty happy with the pace that they set up front, so they were able to sprint real quick on the turn there. So for Goldmaker to come through, I thought it was a pretty good run. But I also think it nearly probably peaked on its run as well. You can see 100 metres, 150 metres past the post. Those horses that generally fly down the outside, they generally go past those in front pretty quickly. It still hadn't picked up Keeper to Mystery yesterday. So I think it was a really good map for Keeper to Mystery, and possibly may have just been peaking on its run. Goldmaker, it was relying on Supernatural to bring it into the race, but and simply wasn't able to yesterday. So had to do a lot of the work itself. So another good run for Goldmaker, and I think clearly a horse that we'll be following into the future. Promising was good. Box seating as well. Ground away for third and just out bobbed. Nicely played by the other Fernie runner, who I think we can also follow moving forward as well. I think Luke was pretty happy with his two charges in the race moving forward, and if we know a trainer who's very good with his 2 and 3 year olds, it's certainly Mr. Luke Fernie. Absolutely nicely played in fourth. That was a great run on debut. Never easy to go from a 400-metre trial to the 1,000-metre race on debut, and it was about a month between trial and race day as well. So I think she is a nice filly in the making. The other horse I think we need to touch upon is Soldier of God. He didn't get a great deal of galloping room when I think he needed it most. He's a lovely scopy playing God. It wouldn't surprise me to see this horse improve over a little bit more ground. He was over 1,200 metres on debut. They actually went back to the trials, put the blinkers on, and that was a much improved effort. I just loved his work in the final 50 to 100 metres. I think up to 1,200 metres next start, he'll be thereabouts in the finish. As I said, I love the run of Goldmaker. He's going to be a horse to follow out of the meeting, but I'm also mindful of the fact that he does seem to have this racing pattern where he gets a long way back, he flushes late. The horse actually hasn't won a race yet, so I'm a little cautious, but I still think the horse is a nice one, and I think he has a future. Supernatural as well was the favourite there yesterday. I thought had every possible chance, really. Goldmaker went straight past her, and perhaps it's all just come a little too soon for Supernatural. There's not much of her looking at her in the yard, so maybe she just needs a little break now and hopefully come back a bigger and stronger filly. Mm-hmm. Only other horse I'd probably touch on is one at wild odds was Lennox Lass yesterday as well. I think it'll be big odds wherever it goes around, but I think it got a very long way back. It didn't get a lot of clear running. It went back to the inside. Jason had to move then. You see on the head-on Stewart's Vision, he moved 4 lanes out wide to try and check off heels, and he's come home at the same times as some of these other horses as well. So I'd be interested to see where Annie King places her next, maybe a provincial maiden or something. And if it goes around at some decent odds, we can have a little bit of a play there, I think.
One I want to ask you about, Naughty Torty. Simon Miller on Drive on Friday gave this a really good chance at the each-way odds.
Disappointing.
Yeah, I thought disappointing. Had its chance and just,
beaten 5 lengths, perhaps too bad to be true. A horse on debut. Maybe there was a little issue out of the performance, and he, I suspect, would be off to a break after that.
Okay, we'll keep working our way through these texts. Anyone that wins their tipping comp this week has A, got no idea, or B, is a genius. It is from Munutza.
I'm guessing that's AFL?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they forgot to put their tips in, and they've tipped all the away teams.
Yeah. Were they all aways that have won?
Oh, the Eagles did.
Yeah.
Was it Gold Coast as well? Did they get one up?
Gold Coast were away. Geelong were away.
Gold Coast beat Essendon.
They did beat Essendon, Lochie. Very good. It's very good of you to work that out. Marty, I missed the dual acceptor you just mentioned at Echuca and somewhere else today. Could you text through to me, please, mate? And I'll read it out, mate. The dual acceptor is Mitchellstown. Is at Echuca and also at Wagga, and he has been backed at both tracks. Mitchellstown.
Geelong, GWS.
GWS, yeah, there's another.
Geelong yesterday.
I should not have put my tips in, Matt. You're making a very good point for not putting your tips in. Okay. I think I've gone from nearly leading to outside the 10 in one round.
That sounds like Carlton.
Yeah. Race number 3. Well, it could be any of 3 teams. Race number 3, the W&T Marshall Silver Anniversary Handicap 16. How long's Silver?
Sorry, what was that?
Silver Anniversary. How many years is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
You're asking the wrong bloke.
About to make its move, Falcon Trader, sensational, pushing up now. Just wanted to drop the bit a little here, and so Pike has to go to work and now come around the heels of Falcon Trader, and Wango Award starting its run further back in front of Tiff's Lad. Mountain Ash reaches the lead. Falcon Trader joins it. Pike has to go to work on Sensational, who's starting to dig in. He draws the shillelagh. Falcon Trader with 100 to go. Sensational being willed by Pike. Sensational goes to Falcon Trader, gets on equal terms and gets up for the 4th time in a line. Sensational, gritty win over Falcon Trader. Classic Road might be 3rd from the tiring Wango Award. Then Ginger Green
just continues to win. Sensational, and this gelding by Sessions gets the money. Tell us about it, Matty. What did you think?
4 wins in a line now, Sensational, and he's gone from has gone from a Class 1 to a 72 plus in this little purple patch here. And look, yesterday was by far its biggest test to date, and to its credit, I thought it dug deep and it just kind of knows where the line is. You could see it wasn't travelling particularly well on the turn. Really had to pull out around Falcon Trader, so losing a length or two, and has just picked up really well under the urgings and was able to run down Falcon Trader, who I think William noted in post-race, that was the one horse that he really wanted to make sure he had his measure of, and at the end of the day, that's what he had to do. And yeah, no, all credit to the horse who's done a big job this campaign.
Exactly right, spot on, Matty. The ride of Lucy Fiore on Falcon Trader in second, I thought was spot on.
Couldn't have done any more.
It was outstanding. Yeah. Kept Willie in a pocket inside of Falcon Trader, and
Is he a big horse?
He is a very big horse, Falcon Trader, but it was almost the fact that Sensational wasn't travelling into the race that helped Willie Pike get her out and around the heels of Falcon Trader, and from there, he's just a winner. From what I can understand and what I can gather, Sensational perhaps stretches out in trip now. I know that Willie Pike, prior to last start, wasn't all that keen in seeing him out over 2,000, but now that he just continues to find the line well and not actually travel that well between the 600 and 400 metre mark, he's looking like he wants ground, so it wouldn't surprise me to see the camp just attempt to stretch him out in trip now and go on a little bit of a fact-finding mission whilst this horse is still such a young horse, and then at least you know for life. If he can stay, he can stay. If he can't, then he comes back to the mile and he has such a good record. But Falcon Trader, he is absolutely flying at the moment, as is the winner. Classic Rogue, there's a race for him. I'm not sure when or where, but he's going to continue to go around at big prices. He's just absolutely flying at the moment, and he just needs a little bit of luck to go his way. Wango Award, I thought, was okay. Loomed at the 200 metre mark like she was going to play a real part in the finish, but perhaps her last 100 was a shade disappointing, Matt.
Yeah, look, I gave the last 100 a forgive mark on her just because I didn't think she had any horse to track into this race, and she had to go wide early at the 5.60 mark. She had to get around Tiff's Lad and then got pushed wide on the turn. So I'm a big fan of Wango Award, and I think the camp are trying to get a win on her before she goes to the breeding barn. So I hope they can get that for her as well. Classic Rogue, you're right. He just very hard with the racing pattern that he has. It was a soft run, 3 back the fence yesterday, and just couldn't find that clear running room over the last 100 metres with Sean O'Donnell just not being able to find that gap for him. It was the fresh horse on the scene. I thought he was probably going to win that if he got room to. Just one quickly, Marty, Ginger Green. Ginger Green yesterday had to contend with the bolter of the field in Mountain Ash out in front. Time again, does Sean maybe take a sit on and allow Mountain Ash to roll forward, and then he's in the same spot that Sensational was in running, I thought. I know he's a front-running horse, but he just got taken on by Mountain Ash, and Mountain Ash only has one way, so I'd be forgiving Ginger Green off that run, and I think he's going quite well as well.
Silver Anniversary is 25 years, Marty.
25.
Scott Embry messaged earlier about Miss Kentucky. My mother has informed me that a silver anniversary is 25 years.
And
so
I've
it's
just
good that
I've just checked my phone, and my grandmother's just told me it's 25 years as well.
There we go. We have 3 listeners this morning.
At least.
That's up. That's up.
Questions and get told no lies. You get hurt. They're all for fun to get tonight. Fall in love.
Special Sort being nickeled at. Starting on the outside, improving. Then Macchiato, Super Romany back there in the field. Likewise, Pagey's turn, Burn Bray. King Cartel headed for the judge. It's made all the running. King Cartel about to be shown the persuader, going up and down on the one spot. Here's Starden, and Macchiato's joining it as well. Special Sort now starts to get going as well near the inside as they come to the 100 mark, and Macchiato reaches the lead from Special Sort. It's Macchiato starting to edge its way clear. Burn Bray flashing through on the inside late. Jim made it very interesting, but it was Macchiato narrowly from Burn Bray who hugged the rails and got there, made it very interesting at the finish. Special Sort,
It
Pages
did get tight there on the line, didn't it? Burn Bray was eating up ground on the inside, but Macchiato doing enough for Stevie Parnham and Summer Dixon to win the 4th.
Great win. He's always been a horse that has promised Saturday ability. You date back to March, his 2 wins in maiden grade and in the Class 1. He really found the line nicely, and yesterday, ridden in a similar manner, he found the line in fantastic order down the middle of the track, courtesy of a speed that was set by King Cartel and Vasilev. They really, really rolled along, and from there, the race was always going to set up for something back in the field, and Macchiato was I think he was actually 3 deep the trip.
Yeah, 3 wide throughout.
He had a tough run throughout. He just continued to travel into the race under the urgings of Steve Parnham, and from there found the line well. In a similar sense to Sensational, Summer Dixon thinks or may try get the horse out to 2,000 metres in time, but for now the mile certainly really suits.
Yeah, no, it was some win. I thought I couldn't find it pre-race, but no, all credit to the horse. It wasn't just a win, 5 wide on the turn, and then still had to be out and hit the lead pretty strongly with, I think, 100 to go. And then I think to all of our surprise, we saw Burn Bray flying up on the inside. Tony Triscari's horse, who will be a follow of mine out of this race, made some decent ground along the inside. And, it was just one of these type of races here. Special Sort, I thought he did well enough with the first 3 horses in front of him, finishing 3 lengths off him, and he was the one still there at the end. Yeah, exactly right. So I'd be forgiving of him going around a 250 favourite and not getting the job done. I don't think the map and the race shape was suited to him yesterday. And Pagey's Turn was the other horse I wanted to mention. Lochie, definitely one of mine, and it was a tough old run. Just lost contact with the eventual winner on the turn, and I think that was the difference between running 5th by, it was only a length in the end, and getting into the place getters. So I'll be following that, and just because it's got that versatility as well, it can go back from a wide gate, or it can also just sit up on the pace. And I know it's had some good wins off the pace, but I reckon it's even a slightly better horse on the pace, and is a tough old one to get past.
Super Romani, I wouldn't be dropping off him. He opened $10 yesterday and closed $5.50. He's a big lump of an animal. He was held up at a vital stage up the straight, but I still thought he found the line well. With an unimpeded run next start, he won't be too far away.
And King Cartel just too hard out in fast and was able to fall in a hole, unfortunately. And that's the same with Vasiliev as well, who's very well named, can I say, as well.
Back to 1,400 metres for the pair of them would certainly suit next up.
Okay, we've got some texts to get through. They keep on coming. We have to close down the line here, boys. But Josh from Jurien Bay tuned in yesterday and heard Michael Heaton was recovering from a cosmic surgery. Do you know if it was to fix his crooked nose? Wishing him a speedy recovery anyway. Josh from Jurien Bay. Do you know who Josh is?
I actually don't know who Josh is, and that's why...
Morning, Michael, if he's listening.
That's why that message is even funnier for me.
Morning, boys. Has anyone noticed Lochie's post-race interviews go a lot longer with females? There was a lot of chemistry in his interview with Kelly Kinnemont after Deferred's win yesterday. Do they have history? That is from Steve.
What about the history with Anne King?
I don't look, Steve. I don't know Lochie.
Yeah.
How do you respond to that? It was aimed at you.
No, I hadn't noticed, but
Before we go on to
maybe I just have a little bit of charm and I get ahead of myself. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you probably do. Race number 5. Now, just before we do,
You do
got
say
a
so yourself.
shout out to my good mate, Mark Scott, the tomato flogger. He had a filly by acclamation debut last night at Newmarket in England for David Manusier. Holly Doyle rode it, and it ran a cracking third on debut, paying $5.30, and I have heard the trainers post comments. So punters out there, put it in your black book. Rockin' the boat. I think it'll be very hard to beat next start. Let's go to race number 5 at Belmont Park.
In behind them, held up at the moment, then Russian Sniper. The rails run comes for Arnie's boy. Major Mario, Hostile Talk, Seduced Me to the outside. Balancing up 300 to go, and it's Salt Lake Shake, about to be joined by Pearly Nugget. 2 lengths Ultimate Command, and then came Requisition. Inside the 200, Pearly Nugget reaches the lead, hits the front, Requisition. Here comes Russian Sniper bursting through, and Hostile Talk joining in down the outside as Pike takes Russian Sniper to the lead, and Russian Sniper got home tight for second and third between Invincible Ruby and also their Hostile Talk. Followed close
Well,
up
Adam
behind them
Durant
next
a
all,
couple of weeks ago said he was going to hit this new season flying, and he's certainly doing that. What about Pike and Russian Sniper here in race number 5?
Back-to-back wins. This horse is so deep into preparation, but he's just absolutely flying. 61.5 kilos. I thought that the turn of foot that he's been showing in recent times may have just been masked by the big weight, but that wasn't the case. I love the way he sprinted when he got clear at around the 200 to 300 metre mark, found the line really, really nicely. The second and third horses launched late, but all honours to Russian Sniper. 61.5 kilos, deep into the preparation. He is just absolutely flying.
Yeah, what a preparation it's been. I think it's a 22nd start yesterday, 21st start, just absolutely unbelievable. Like, just how long will they keep it going for? And 61.5 yesterday, I thought it was going to be on its limit, but absolutely proved me wrong, and it was a really good ride. I thought it was a good finish yesterday, because about the 200 metre mark, you just didn't know where to look. There was just horses absolutely queuing up, all making their runs at the same time. And I think we saw with Invincible Ruby, got held up with Seduce Me back in the field, and probably comes close to winning, I think, if it gets a clear run. So I thought that was a very good run yesterday, and had no luck at the start prior as well. So probably another follow for mine, even though as a get-back runner, you do have to allow for that.
Yeah, exactly. Salt Lake Shake, he stretched out to 1,200 metres for the first time. Second time, in fact, in his career. Beaten a length and a half. I thought he was okay. I think he's going well enough. Perhaps better suited back to the 1,000, and maybe with the addition of some headgear, we'll see Salt Lake Shake return to the winner's circle. But other than the winner and, Invincible Ruby, Hostile Talk, they get back and hit the line. I don't think there's too much to touch upon.
Hostile Talk looked like it was just because it was a pair too far back or whatever, and had to sustain such a long run. Like, it got to them. I thought it was going to get to them, and just maybe the last 20, 30 metres, the long run sorted out.
Perhaps, as Matt touched upon a couple races earlier, there were a few horses there yesterday that had to make long searching runs, and perhaps as a result of that, they just peaked late. I think you hit that straight out of the middle, Mark.
Yelling Up Girl first up, I thought was a good run too. Barrier 12 made ground along the inside as well.
Vic Parker sent one in on this text line. What will the Taylor family do with On the Full? It didn't want to be at the races yesterday. That is Mark and Vic Park. Is he on the money?
He has got 1 foot out the door, I think. Maybe
Who,
2.
Mark?
No, on the full.
Okay.
He's very close to saying, see you later to our stable.
Righto. So
Talk about a searching run. Did you see, was it Vavinsky yesterday up at Broome?
Up at Broome.
That was a searching run.
Yeah, it was.
That was 3 deep for 1,600 metres, and just said, see you later.
We were paying particular attention to Ombudsman to get into the placings, thanks to Darren, and it certainly rocketed. Morning, boys. Ben from Bunbury. I missed the race yesterday, but what happened to Acromantula yesterday? Cheers. Pressure, too much pressure up front, gone before the bend.
Yeah.
Got beaten a long way.
Missed the kick by half a length, and over there, that's all it takes.
Yeah. So we go on to race number 6. Gee, you talk about in the run. Mornington Glory. How much did you want on it in the run?
Jeez.
Race number 6, the Bernard Couch Memorial Handicap. This was over the 2,200 metres.
them, Cosmic Chaos. Now, where's Queen of Jerusalem? There she is. She's come to the outside, starting to build. She's making ground. Wicked Cool behind her outside. Flash Paddy, they're into the home straight. Expelliarmus grab the lead. Cosmic Chaos is in pursuit. Queen of Jerusalem now being tested. Cosmic Chaos got the hit in front of Expelliarmus. Queen of Jerusalem, she's in trouble at the moment. Cosmic Chaos and Expelliarmus. Wicked Cool down the outside. Cosmic Chaos, though, starts to break clear late. And Cosmic Chaos. Cosmic Chaos is too good. Won it more than a length. Wicked Cool's got up to run second at any old odds from Queen of Jerusalem.
Yes, we'd mentioned Wicked Cool on straight up when we noticed the fluctuation there of 250s into about 40s and ran a terrific race for Jaden Lyle. But Cosmic Chaos for Simon Barras and Lucy Fiore. Always in the right spot, gets the money.
Absolutely. Just a nice horse on the rise, I think, Marty. Simon has a great handle on him at the moment. He just spaces his runs a touch, and he's clearly rock hard fit, had an unimpeded run throughout, just travelled into the race really, really nicely, and from there found the line well. I think he's a horse you can just continue to follow. He can carry weight, he can stay. I'm a really big fan of this horse, and I'm not sure what Simon does with him next, but I just feel like he's going to be a horse that can continue to go through the grades. He's big, he's rangy, he's raw, still does a few things wrong, but there's no denying his ability. He's a really nice horse.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he was pretty confident he'd measure up in Saturday grade,
Yep.
and it seems to be the 21 days spacing or the 3 week spacing that he's been giving this horse, because he seems to thrive off it. And look, that was a 57 plus graduation yesterday, winning it like that by a length. You'd imagine he could go around in a few more of these staying graded races quite easily, especially while there's a bit of moisture out there on the track. There's some runs in this one, wasn't there? Queen of Jerusalem, wide on the turn. I thought it had every chance. It had flowed into the race quite well and just wasn't able to pick up that one in front of it. Loch, agreed?
Yeah, I agree. I thought she was solid without being outstanding. A horse like Wicked Cool, as Marty touched upon, went around at a massive price and went straight past her. But I thought Clint gave Queen of Jerusalem every possible chance. I certainly agree with that.
Yes, and Flash Paddy, I thought, was also one of those other horses, was the first to make the move yesterday and had to do a bit of the rounding work, and actually got checked when Queen of Jerusalem went past it, and then it picked up again and ran into fourth. So I think there's a run for Flash Paddy again for Raquel Williams. Get backer again, so it just has to have conditions to suit on that. And I thought, I can't follow it, but Blue Card I thought was a pretty good run as well yesterday, into fifth, just behind the pace.
Didn't have a lot of room late,
No.
but I thought the exact same thing. I'm not sure if I can be following him, but that was a cheeky run at odds.
And Wayne the Pain was lame yesterday as well, so
See that,
I'd
yeah.
be forgiving that.
14 away from 9, another quick break.
You are listening to Racing Rewind on Tab Radio Racing and Sport.
With 450 to run, making profits just in front of Birds the Word. They've been together from the word go. Little Silver goes up in advance of No Brainer. Hemlock Stone with a rails runner. Tenacious Reward runs on, and now starting to let down at them is Deferred. Little Silver, Tenacious Reward, Deferred coming quickly down the outside, joins them now and hits the front with 100 to go. Deferred draws 3/4. Tenacious Reward, who sticks hard. Deferred's in front though, and she'll win again. Deferred. It's a treble for Chris Parnham, and it's a hat-trick for Deferred. Deferred beat Tenacious Reward. Third
Yeah,
home,
she's a
Hemlock
beauty.
Stone,
The epaulette mare for Simon Miller and also David Reed's trucking nominees. Tell us about the win.
Nice win, nice mare. 3 in a line now. She was caught deep early, but Chris Parnham eventually got her into a midfield position following Tenacious Reward, and from there it looked like the race was won a long way out. She found the line very, very nicely. It'd be interesting to see what Simon Miller does with her moving forward. Does he look to stretch her out in trip, or is 1,400 metres her ideal distance moving forward? I'm not sure, but she's the half to Magnificent Andy, and it looks like she has some of his ability. That was her third win from 6 career starts, and I'm very, very excited to continue to track her career moving forward, Matty.
Yeah, it was a good step up into Saturday grade yesterday, wasn't it, from her first 2 wins. I think you heard Chris saying post-race that, he had to do a fair bit of work to get her into that spot, and with those factors, 12 to 14, step out into Saturday, and then doing a bit of work mid-race, I think it just has a little bit more merit to this race, to this ride as well, and to get it over the line. Tenacious Reward, probably one of the most aptly named horses, I reckon. Just absolutely tenacious, always runs well. Geez, Lucy, she just never gives up the fight, and I thought it was a good run into second here. And Hemlock Stone into third, up along the rail. I thought it was a flashing run late, actually, here. And first up was only 3 lengths off Miss Drakova, so I think it's racing well, Hemlock Stone.
I agree. There's not much more to add, in my opinion, other than I'm just really keen to continue to follow Tenacious Reward. He is absolutely flying this time in.
Deferred or Tenacious Rewards?
Tenacious Reward,
yeah. Keen?
Yeah,
definitely.
Deferred's just going to keep going around at
Exactly.
$1.70, $1.80. Tenacious Reward goes around at a price. That will do me.
Each way all day?
Yep.
Okay, from text line. Hi, when are we getting a bigger, brighter, bigger screen semaphore board at Belmont Park? The present one looks like we hide it from the salvos. That's from Bill of Baldivis. He said silver is 25. Thanks, Bill. And good to see Summer Dixon have a winner. Was the Dixon jig back as well? Was she happy after the race? She
was very happy, very relieved. Good to see.
Steve's come back. Steve's in a bit of form.
Another one.
Heard Marty's interview with a female Eastern States jockey on Drive on Wednesday afternoon. That was Angela Jones, and he was extremely complimentary of her and encouraged her to come to Western Australia to ride.
Oh, Mart.
I think there's a common theme with the men at this station. Cheers, Steve. No, just a charming young lady going places, Angela Jones. It would be good to see her riding over here because she's a star. Go to the main event of the day, the Swan Draft, Belmont Newmarket. It was over the 1200.
Home turn. They've got 400 left to go in the Newmarket pool. He's made all the running, led by 2 over the favourite. Boots Like Bruce called upon. Man Crush cuts back to the inside of Pooley. Goes 2, walks, lets down. Saloon Bar runs on. Further back, Red 53. Boots Like Bruce went to the 150, clear by a length. The Man Crush, who's trying valiantly. Carberry draws the whip on Boots Like Bruce. He's got Man Crush beaten. Saloon Bar's coming. It's Boots Like Bruce. Boots Like Bruce holds on. Bruce has won again. Boots has now won the Bolton and the Belmont Newmarket. Boots Like Bruce beats Saloon Bar. Man Crush behind.
Yeah, great win. And King has got Boots Like Bruce. Brucey is absolutely firing at the moment, isn't he?
He is just going from strength to strength. Fantastic win there yesterday. Drew barrier 8 of 8, settled outside or in behind a really hot speed set by Pooley, as Pooley knows only one way. But Boots Like Bruce, he was there to be beaten there yesterday, but I thought the way he just toughed it out late was the sign of a horse that is just really, really enjoying his racing at the moment. Back-to-back feature wins, as I said. Where he goes to next, it sounds like Anne King is hinting towards the Farnley over 1,400 metres, and I personally would love to see the horse at 1,400 metres. Was
the Hannons a suggestion?
Could you keep it going to the Hannons?
Maybe. The Hannons is just after the Farnley.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Boots. Big fan of Bruce. I thought it was a good win yesterday. And look, my concern moving forward with him will be going from 12 to 14. His record over 12 is just absolutely magnificent. I think that was his, 10th start for 7 wins over the 12. So I think if to try and get him out to 14 in this really listed grade, I think maybe a track like Cal could suit him a little bit better, where he can just sit third, fourth, kick hard off the turn, because he's a big animal, Bruce, and he just needs that clear galloping room, and I think he might be a little bit exposed at Belmont over 14, but absolutely no knock from Bruce. He was a Metro 69 raider in Feb, and he was a 92 yesterday prior to that win. He's just going absolutely strength to strength, and I think the best part about his racing now is that I think there was one stat where he'd won 4 races and the jocks had to win them in the steward's room 3 times afterwards as well, right? Because he just didn't know how to run straight, this animal. Yesterday's head-on vision, he couldn't have run straighter if he tried to ask him. I don't know if they've done something behind the scenes to straighten him up. I'm not sure if Paddy just has a bit of a different way with him.
I think the pennies just dropped.
Yeah, it is just fantastic to see him running straight and not have to be on him and worry about the impending protest anymore.
Saloon Bar. That was typical Saloon Bar. He ran really well, loomed late, but just missed. He's going really well. And Man Crush, I thought, was a great run in third as well, Marty.
Reminds me of a horse called Settled Strata that Harrow had, and it went and won the Beaufine Bolton and the Belmont Newmarket. Just got on a roll those late winter sprints, and and turned out to be a much improved horse. Let's have a listen to the last.
Followed further back, Bays in, and then Brave Strike. Next at the top of the straight, Harmika and Manavendra. Last of all, balancing up, 300 left to go. Leniency makes its move, comes at Universal Flair, takes her Ice Picnic, driving up now near the inside very quickly at the 200-metre mark. And then on the outside is Other One Son. Harmika runs on. Ice Picnic, Leniency with 100 left to go. Leniency and Ice Picnic and Leniency. There won't be much in this when they go to the line. They split it. Ice Picnic maybe Ice Picnic, and Nose, Leniency. Brave Strike getting through the...
Ice Picnic, second start under the care of Steph Fahala. There was an air of confidence from Steph and plenty of punters. He was really well backed late. Ice Picnic had a lovely run in the box seat when the leader rolled off. It just gave Steve Parnham a lovely saloon passage up towards near the rail, and he looked like he was going to win the race quite easily, but Leniency kicked back late. It was actually much tighter in the finish than I first noticed, but Ice Picnic, great training performance from Steph Fahala, and what a result for the owners. I think they purchased this horse for around $50,000 online, and he's already won his purchase price back.
Oh, back in spades, right? It was there was a bit of confidence yesterday. I think this was Scotty's best bet on the card, and I think we saw early fours for this horse as well. I thought it was a wild price as to how well and the form lines behind it as well. I think that Storm Chaser form lines is just supreme here at the moment, and Stevie would have done, as a form student, he would have known that Universal Flair Barrier 1 would be leading, and as standard rolls off the fence every time, so he knew exactly what he was doing, getting behind that leader. And I thought Leniency was the one he had to beat, and at the end of the day, first up, huge run for the Colin Webster yard. Brave Strike into third, huge.
On Racing Rewind, it is time for the boys to look back and determine who are the black bookers, the ones to be on next start, the horses to follow.
For me, Goldmaker, Tenacious Reward, and Manavendra was a super run in the last as well.
Didn't get to mention that. For me, I like Goldmaker as well, and I like Pagey's Turn and Burberry as well.
Got a winner up at Port Hedland today.
Oh, Port Hedland Cup, awesome chatter. Just wins, I reckon.
Get some money for Shooter McGrady.
Oh, no, how good was Nadia Bishop's interview?
Yeah, fantastic.
I didn't need to be more confident, but I am after that.
Awesome chatter in the cup. Yourself?
I'll follow Matty in.
Right.
Have another look.
Thanks for coming in, Locke. Thanks, Matty.
Cheers.